Welcome students. The topic for this video lecture is plastids, and in plastids we will discuss leucoplast, chromoplast and chloroplast. First of all, let's see the meaning of plastid, student. So plastid term is introduced by Ernest Haeckel in 1866, and plastids are semi-autonomous organelles having DNA and double membrane envelope which store or synthesize various types of organic compounds. So like mitochondria, plastids are also semi-autonomous organelles. Next student, let's find out the occurrence. So generally, plastids are found in plant cells except some protistans, for example, euglena, diatoms, etc. Next student, plastid develop from colorless precursors called proplastids, and proplastids have the ability to divide and differentiate into various types of plastids. So plastids have developed from colorless precursors called proplastids. Now let us talk about the types of plastids. So depending upon the color, students, plastids are of three types. Number one, leucoplasts. Number two, chromoplasts. And number three, chloroplasts. Let's talk about first of all leucoplasts. Leucoplasts are colorless non-photosynthetic plastids found in those cells of plants which are not exposed to sunlight. So especially present in those plants which are not exposed to sunlight. They possesses membranous lamellae that do not form thylakoids. What are thylakoids, student? Thylakoids are the structural unit of chloroplast. So in case of leucoplast, thylakoids are not present. And next, they are the storage organelles, and on the basis of stored food, they are further of three types. The first type is amyloplasts. Amyloplasts store starch and found in underground stems and cereals. So on the basis of color, plastids are of three types: leucoplast, chromoplast and chloroplast. We have first started with leucoplast, which are colorless, and leucoplast are further depending on the basis of that what food they store of three types. So first is amyloplast, which store starch. Next student, elioplast or lipidoplast or oleoplast. As the name indicates, they store oils or fats and found in seeds of castor, mustards and coconut. Then aleuroplasts, which can be called proteoplast or proteinoplast. As the name indicates, they store proteins and found in seeds such as maize. Next student, let's talk about the second type of plastid now, chromoplast. So chromoplasts are colored plastids other than green. If they are green, then they are called chloroplast. But beside green, any other color is there, then they are called chromoplast. And like leucoplast, they are also non-photosynthetic, which synthesize and store carotenoid pigments. And the main function of there is they provide color to various parts of the plants, which attract insects for pollination and dispersal of seeds. And lastly, student, during ripening of tomato and chili, chloroplast transformed into chromoplast. As we know that chili and tomato are green initially, so at that time chloroplast is present in them. But once they change the color, for example, tomato change to red or orange color, then their chloroplast is transformed into chromoplast. So what is chromoplast? They are colored plastids other than green. They are photosynthetic and they provide color to various parts of the plants so that they can attract insects for pollination and for dispersal of seeds. Now let's start, students. Very important type of plastid, that is chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are green or chlorophyll containing plastids which are mainly related with photosynthesis. The chloroplast of algae, students, other than the green. Algae are green in color, they may be red, they may be brown. So in case of green, chloroplasts are present, but in case of red and brown algae, chromatophores are present, students. Next student, let's talk about the number. A typical mesophile cell may contain 40 to 50 chloroplasts. We know, students, that chloroplasts are present in the leaves, and leaves in the leaves where in the mesophile cells. So a leaf mesophile cell may contain 40 to 50 chloroplasts. Next student, the minimum number of chloroplasts, that is just one, is present in case of green alga Eulothrix and several species of Chlamydomonas. So what it indicates that number of chloroplasts vary species to species. In case of Eulothrix or several species of Chlamydomonas, it is just one in number. And next student, it also varies species to species in a particular genus. For example, in a genus of Spirogyra, in one species, that is Spirogyra indica, only one chloroplast is there. Whereas in case of Spirogyra rectospora, there are 16 chloroplasts. So what we conclude, that number varies from species to species, as well as number also varies from species to species in a single genus. Now students, let's talk about the shape. So in case of shape, chloroplast varies species to species. How we can know? Let's take some examples. For example, in case of Chlamydomonas, Wucheria, they are cup shaped. In case of Eleutheryx, they are girdle shaped. In case of Zygnema, they are star shaped or stellate shaped. In case of Cladophora Idogonium, they are reticulate or net like. In case of Spirogyra, they are spiral, river or scaliform. Whereas in case of plants, they are ovoid, disc or spheroid shaped. So what does indicate that chloroplast varies from species to species in case of their shapes. Now let's talk about the size, student. In case of size, student, chloroplasts are generally 4 to 10 micrometer in length and 2 to 4 nanometer in width. But in case of some algae, they occupy the almost the whole length of the cell, such as in Spirogyra, where it may be reach a length of 1 millimeter. So this is all about the shape and size of the chloroplast in case of various organisms. Now let's talk about structure of chloroplast. Structurally, chloroplast is made up of three main components, that is chloroplast envelope, matrix and thylakoids. In some algae, there may be two more structure, that is pyrenoid and stigma. Otherwise, it has three main components, that is envelope, matrix and thylakoids. Next student, let's talk about the chloroplast envelope. Like mitochondria, it is also double membranous, but unlike mitochondria, its both membranes are smooth. Whereas in case of mitochondria, the inner membrane was quite folded. Next student, the two membranes are separated by a fluid-filled intermembrane space of 100 to 200 angstrom width. And like mitochondria, the outer membrane is permeable as compared to inner membrane. And next student, the inner membrane has more number of proteins, including carrier proteins especially. Second component of chloroplast is matrix. Matrix is a fluid-filled space that is enclosed by inner membrane, and it is also called stroma, and it is similar to mitochondrial matrix. The stroma contains thylakoids, various enzymes, protein synthetic machinery such as 2 to 6 copies of circular DNAs, RNAs and 70s ribosomes. Beside this, there are plastoglobuli which store fats, certain metallic ions such as iron, manganese, magnesium and starch grains. Next student, in case of green algae, pyrenoids are present around which some starch deposits in layers. As we have already discussed that in case of algae, beside three components, there may be two more structures, that is pyrenoids and stigma. So in case of pyrenoids, there are starch which deposits in layers. Next students, third component is thylakoids or lamellae. They are membrane lined flattened fluid filled sacs which run through the stroma or matrix of the chloroplast. So we will discuss them in detail in the next slide. Now students, let's try to understand the structure of chloroplast with the help of diagram. First of all, let's see this diagram, second diagram. In second diagram, we are easily observing that there are two membranes of chloroplast. First is this outer membrane and second is this, that is inner membrane. And inside the inner membrane, this empty space, that blue color space, that is called stroma. And in stroma, student, what is present, that is thylakoids. And you are observing, student, that thylakoids are in stacks, they are in piles, one on another. And once the thylakoids are attached, arranged in stacks or piles, then these structures are called granum. So there are many granum in the stroma, and the plural of granum is grana. And granum may be attached with each other with the help of stromal lamellae. For more detail, now let us observe the first structure. In case of first structure, these are the membranes, that is outer and inner membrane in case of chloroplast. And in between these two membranes, there is intermembrane space. Inside the this chloroplast, student, there is a space that is called stroma, and in stroma what is present? It is present DNA, circular DNA, drops of lipids. It contains some starch granules. It contains protein factory, that is ribosomes, as well as these granum which are interlinked with each other with the help of a structure that is called lamellae or stromal lamellae. So let's now see what is written here in the theory part. First is that thylakoids are the structural elements of the chloroplast because they are mainly responsible for photosynthesis in chloroplast. Next, student, sometimes thylakoids may be attached to the inner membrane, and in case of higher plant, student, thylakoids are arranged in stacks, and that stacks are called grana. Singular is granum. In a typical chloroplast, there may be 40 to 6 grana may be there, and each granum has about 2 to 100 thylakoids, and adjacent grana are, student, interconnected by a very important term, that is stromal lamella or intergranal thylakoids or threads. So the channels, the tubes which are connecting grana with each other, that are called stromal lamella or intergranal thylakoids or threads. Next, student, whether grana are present inside chloroplast or not, on the basis of this, chloroplast are of two types. First is agranal chloroplast. If grana are absent, then such chloroplasts are called agranal, and example is bundle sheath cells and algae. Next, student, if grana is present in the chloroplast, then such chloroplasts are called granule chloroplasts, and the most common example is mesophyll cells of the leaves. So what we observe, what we conclude from the diagram, that chloroplast is double membranous, and the space that is present in between two membrane, that is called intermembrane space, and inside the intermembrane, what is, sorry, inner membrane, what is present, that is stroma, and stroma is filled with grana which are interlinked with intergranal thylakoids, as well as it also contains DNA, many enzymes, lipids, as well as starch, and lastly protein factory which are responsible for synthesis of proteins. Now, student, thylakoid membrane system carry four protein assemblies, that is photosystem 1, photosystem 2, electron transport system, that is also called ETS, consisting of cytochromes B and F and ATP synthetase. Now, what is this, student? Basically protein assemblies. These you will understood when you will go through the chapter, that is photosynthesis, in upcoming topics. So next, student, now let's talk about the functions of plastids. First, student, chloroplast is the main site of photosynthesis. And second, student, chloroplast convert radiant energy of sun into, that is chemical energy of sugar, hence called biological transducers. Third, student, chloroplast store fat droplets in the form of plastoglobuli. So what is the function of plastoglobuli? That is storage of fats, which also contain vitamin K and vitamin E. So what are the three functions that is given here? That the site of photosynthesis, they convert light energy into chemical energy, and third, they store fat droplets in the form of plastoglobuli. Fourth function of chloroplast, student, that it is responsible for synthesis of fatty acid in case of some plants such as spinach. Fifth function, student, that chloroplast in some algae provide photosensitivity because it contain stigma or eye spot. And last function, student, that chloroplast can be transformed into chromoplast, which provide beautiful color to many flowers that help in attracting insects, birds and animals for pollination and dispersal. So with this, student, we have completed all the 6 functions of chloroplast, and we have also completed our video lecture. In our next video lecture, we will come with another cell organelle. Till then, take care. Thanks.